Hello, dear ones, welcome. We are here today to introduce you in a very interesting topic. A topic which is a trend nowadays, and it's about the masculine and feminine alchemy. Maybe you know what this masculine and feminine energy means, or maybe you don't, but after today, I think you will have a clear image about what these two energies are about and how your life can improve after you practice and after you understand this alchemy. I have here today with me Ravi.
Namaste.
Ravi, you are from India, right?
Yes, I'm born in India.
How was your day?
It was fantastic, thank you. Yes, today was a very interesting day. I had a great workshop finished with handpan. So I'm very excited for this evening to meet you.
Okay, so you are in Romania today.
Yes.
Talking with me, which I have been to India 7 times already.
Imagine, you actually Indian lady in Romanian body. Let's say, from what I know.
Yes, thank you. So I know this subject is dear to you as it is to me, and probably it is something that we need to talk about in nowadays context. I wanted to start by the word alchemy, for example, because when we look at this word, it says already a lot of things. What does alchemy mean? And in my opinion, alchemy, it's transformation, some kind of magical transformation in which we get from something very gross in something very fine, or do something ordinary and take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. How it is in the Indian cultures in this world?
You actually have explained it very nicely. Alchemy, in a sense, is transmutation. There's stories about alchemical people who can transmute any metal to gold, etc. In a sense, if you look at it, it's all about transforming or transmuting the energies. Take that is inferior, work with your energies and make it superior, in a sense. That is alchemy. And the topic of our discussion today about masculine feminine energy, that is profound. In due course, we'll go into details of this, of how you can actually understand your energies and bring in the transformation from within. So everything outside in your world is transmuted to whatever is inside. So that's in a sense
yes, and I would say, as far as I understand, is like we are merging, or we are getting on a ladder towards the divine somehow. So we are transforming our base energies into higher energies, and somehow we are getting closer to our true nature, right? Our divine nature. And in this way, everything in the quality of life also transforms, right? I mean, our quality of life transforms based on this transformation, which is inner, like you said.
Totally, everything is inner, yes. And I want to point out the word here, balance, and that is the key. And we talk about the lower energy, low vibrations, and we aim to get into higher vibrations. We miss the most important part here is first to achieve balance. Only when we achieve balance, then with awareness, with certain practices, you can consciously shift towards the higher vibration. So balance is key, and I want to emphasize in this.
Yes, that's true, and we are getting there. First, I want us to talk a little bit about Shiva and Shakti. Okay, this is from your cultures. Somehow this can be named in other forms in other cultures, or feminine and masculine, Shiva and Shakti, yin and yang, or any other names we are giving to these qualities. But how it is, what is with these energies? What is masculine energy? What is feminine energy? How can people at home transform their lives knowing these things?
That's a very good question. So you said Shiva and Shakti, and these are just representation of masculine, divine masculine and divine feminine, right? Which is present in all of us. Every being has it, humans especially. And in Indian culture and your culture, there's a strong belief there is this deity called Ardhanadeshwara, which is in a exactly.
Half masculine.
In a human body, there's half of us is masculine, which is Shiva, half is feminine. Talking about equality, that is, it starts from there, right? And what it means, this masculine feminine energy, and if you ask me, feminine energy, in a sense, is creative. Look at it. Women are the only powerful source in the universe who can basically stir in an unborn soul into the planet. They have the creative power. That power is available all within us. Everyone's creative. Whenever we focused into a task, doing it, be it cooking, whatnot, or putting in a creative energy and focus on it, you're exhibiting your feminine energy there. An attribute of focus is primarily the attribute of a masculine energy, Shiva, divine masculine energy. Focus, pure consciousness, goal-oriented, these are masculine attributes. Feminine attributes are being creative, unconditional love. You know, any man can express unconditional love towards his mother, towards his pet animal. When he's doing it, he's actually bringing up his feminine aspect and showering it out. There is no way without this attribute of feminine energy you can express creativity or express unconditional love.
Yes, and I think we should explain to people that it's not about the gender. It's not about the biases about women or men, because hearing these words, masculine energy, feminine energy, primarily we go to the idea, okay, masculine energy means man, feminine energy means woman. But that's not true. And feminine and masculine energies are not only aspects of our body, are aspects of existence itself. I mean, if we look at existence, we have night and day, we have many polarities like this, up and down, and yes, everything is in relation with the other somehow. And we need both of them.
They have to coexist.
Exactly.
Yes.
And like we said, we need a balance between the two of them. When there is balance, then there is peace, fulfillment, there is another quality of life, there is an inner recognition maybe of ourself, our true self. So let's put it a little bit in the context of this society nowadays. In the Western world, we are now in a phase in which we can see more masculine energy than feminine energy. Maybe in that part yet in India there isn't yet this way, but here in the West we can see this very, very often. What does that mean? When there is a lot of masculine energy in a society or in a world, what happens is that, like you said, the masculine energy has certain qualities like logical, analytical, goal-oriented, a little competition, a little conquest drive, let's say, okay? So if the society has only this kind of energy, then what can happen in
there
a
is
society
an
like this?
Imbalance in the collective consciousness overall, and that is not good for the society per se. It's not to bring this balance in. We do our small efforts of organizing a small workshop where we create awareness. That's key. Awareness is the key. You know, again, the stereotype of masculine is men and feminine is women, that label needs to be sort of a little bit broken down, so we make and understand to them that everyone has this. Tap in your do throughout the day. there are moments when your masculine energy needs to be brought up. When you're driving, you need to have that. And when you are in presence of your loved one, you need to bring that balance in a relationship.
Exactly. There is another thing that I like to say, and I know a little story about Shiva and Parvati. Maybe we're going to say it a little bit. For example, the masculine energy is necessary, okay? We need that masculine energy in certain domains of our lives, in certain moments in our life. But the feminine energy is equally important. And nowadays, feminine energy, because it is misunderstood, it is seen as weak. It is seen as something that we don't desire, the feminine energy. But the feminine energy doesn't mean weakness, right? It actually means a great power and a great force. And actually, Shakti means energy, right?
Oh, the power of Shakti, wow.
And we have also that legend that Shiva is still and Shakti is dancing around him. I mean, like we said, in the society, okay, we are concentrating on making money, projects, surviving. Exactly, this is the word. Masculine energy is mainly focused on survival. Even in the past, the man was responsible for the survival of the family, and the woman, what she was doing, she was making life beautiful. I mean, she was making things worthwhile or life worth living somehow. She was bringing this to the table. So this aspect of the feminine energy is important, so we don't forget the fact that life is about other values too than survival. What do you think about it?
That is so true, so true. I'd like to give you a small analogy here. The feminine energy is like a big ocean. The flow, it's vast. There is currents, right? The waves, it's moving all the time. It's very vibrant. That's feminine energy. And masculine energy is like a boat on that ocean. This boat needs the energy of the wave to be able to move forward. Boat has direction, masculine. It goes, yes, good. Just with direction, it cannot move anywhere. It needs the energy of the wave. It needs the energy of the wind that's generated by the ocean. So that's why it has to be a balance. They have to work hand in hand so that the boat can move forward in the vast ocean and reach the goal. So without the power of Shakti, the feminine,
yes, nothing
happens. It's a rat race.
Nothing happens.
There's no moving forward.
There is no moving, actually.
Yes. So the balance is important. The awareness is key here. And to find ways to tap in that within you. It's not about, yes, I can talk about it, I can preach about it, but internally, how am I internalizing it? How am I finding my masculine and feminine attributes? What can I do to bring this up? Am I being creative? So as a man, I go to gym, let's say I go work out, etc. What am I doing in my routine to spark and bring that creative aspect of it?
Yes, you're very right. But I think first people have to understand, because there is without understanding, you cannot make a change, or we cannot do a practice. We have to understand what we are doing, why we are doing that. So that's what we are trying now to a little explain. So after that we can speak about what do we do to help people or to guide people to tap into these two energies. For example, like you said, a man can be a photographer or maybe a painter or anything like that, and in that activity he's in touch with his feminine energy, right? So he's about aesthetics, about beauty, about cooperation, integration, all these kind of aspects and qualities. I think this have to be understood firstly, that we have talked a little bit. You can talk about the masculine energy aspects more, because maybe from your experience you can tell us more about that, and I can say a little bit about what feminine energy aspects I know, and we can bring it to the table. For example, feminine energy, like I said, is about cooperation, about embracing, about nurturing, about integration, beauty, art, meaning, in a sense, okay? Masculine aspect, I will let you say the qualities, and then how can these qualities can complement, okay? How can this complement and make our life more fulfilling? Because like you said, if one of the energy isn't there, then it's like we have a corpse which is not moved by anything. Like I like to say, when the both energies are balanced, we have a fully alive creature, or a fully alive person, let's say, like
purpose,
that.
Yes, exactly.
So how do you think these attributes, masculine and feminine attributes, can complement each other? How did you find this in your experience, for example, in life? I know you're married, okay, so you can tell me maybe
yes.
how you and your wife complement, because we are going to go there, like how this helps us. In a sense, this inner alchemy helps us to bring fulfillment in ourselves and bring balance in ourselves, and this will reflect then on the relationships we have with the others.
Perfect, yes. Yes, rightly pointed. I'm married, and we will definitely talk about these play of these energies in relationship. You know, like we talked earlier, within me, there is masculine and feminine. Within my partner, my wife, there is a masculine and feminine energy. I'm aware of these energies in me. I'm aware of these energies in her. She's perhaps aware of the energies in her. You know, that's the beginning. She's a working woman. She goes to work. And there are moments where she exhibits the divine masculine in a home scenario. Bit of need for structure, bit of need for direction is demanded. Right?
Yes.
And if I have that divine masculine in me attribute blown up, I'm seeking for clarity, I'm seeking for direction, and there is this moment of discussion turned into a little argument. Both of us are exhibiting our masculine energy. At this point, you see, the feminine is there screaming silently, hey, let me out, I can handle this. But if I'm going to get stuck and just let me, you know what, this is not working, I need to be the man, I need to, and I start pushing this forward, there's always a clash. But being aware of these internal energies, then I can sort of say, yes, you know what, she is exhibiting that. I'm not going to go give her a lecture about masculine energy, but turn inward and say, you know what feminine characters can I bring up so I can call the attention of that masculine energy and make peace. See, there's always attraction there, masculine and feminine, opposite poles.
Yes, of course.
And this is not, by the way, manipulation anyway. You know, that's different. But I'm working with my energy not to necessarily dismiss a point of view. But if she's coming up as a masculine victim there, let's say, you know, I said something, did something that she's unhappy about, and she just goes on, and I sense that that's a victim masculine. What I need to do is to bring in my nurturing attribute of feminine in. It's about being quiet, opening up my heart energy, and listening to her completely, as an example, you know. And how can this feminine attribute complement that victim masculine? We talk about in the book. And when I match that, you see immediately the energies will come into play.
The alchemy happens.
Yeah, there is transmutation happens.
Yes.
There is now connection. We're not disapproving each point of view here. We're finding creative ways. So I'm coming with the creative aspect here. Just toning down my ego, alpha male, down a little bit, so I can being open up. And that's what she needs to. Victim, nurturing, being heard. And then you see suddenly her energy will come into resonance with mine, come balance. And when that is done, physiologically you'll see a difference. You're changing from your fight or flight to a calm mode, because there's expectation for retaliation going on. Wait a second, Ravi is responding a bit different. Let me hone in. The direction changes completely of what it's supposed to be. And this way, I'm able to address.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. That we avoid this friction and this stress by being aware of what's happening, and make a transfer somehow. And because we are aware of what's going on, and we understand what type of energy we have inside of us, what type of energy are inside our partner, we can have an instrument right there, right then, and we can make this magic happen. So we don't go into fight, into conflict, into
that's so true. It's not about conflict avoidance here. I know you meant the same. It's about gradually working together to mature the relationship.
Yes, it's about maturity.
Mature the relationship.
Yes.
So there are times when I pick up that, and I'm exhibiting so much of this motherly, feminine, so much that needs that masculine to come and balance this in the home environment. That needs to be balanced, definitely. And she will point out, and if she's aware of these mechanics, right, and she can, again, change has to first happen within to be able to exhibit. I cannot verbally tell her, you are exhibiting your divine masculine, and she'll go, what are you talking about? Right? So bring it up and work together.
Even though, for example, because let's mention this, we are not addressing only to people who are in a relationship. No. We are also addressing to people who are single, and even more because first we have to bring balance inside of us, okay, like between our feminine side and masculine side, and then go out into the world like a balanced being and interacting with another balanced being. And in this encounter, there is other magic happening, let's say. Instead of going wounded, and we are going to go into this subject a little bit of what does the wounded masculine mean and what is a wounded feminine mean, and how can this bring trouble, let's say like that.
Absolutely, like rightly said, not just partners, it could be at your workplace, your colleagues, it could be the person driving the car next to you in a traffic signal. It could be that. It doesn't have to be. It could be children. It could be the parents. And you work with this, with the energy. Yeah.
And now we are doing some practices in this area. For example, okay, I'm doing yoga and also sound healing. You are doing Reiki, sound healing, all these kind of activities, coaching, holistic approach, and in this practices we can guide people so they can find this balance, right? For example, I was talking earlier about this story with Shiva and Parvati, and from the point of view of yoga, okay, Shiva was the first Adi yogi, right? I mean, he was the first guru, let's say. And the legend says, like every guru, he had the disciples, and his first disciples were the Saptarishis. I like this story because, I have been to Rishikesh many times, and I'm fascinated about this subject. Also, I have been to a cave where one of the Saptarishis was meditating. And the story says that at some point, Shiva was with his partner, Parvati, okay? And he had these disciples. One of the disciples was Brigu, and Brigu was like a devotee of Shiva, and the legend says he became so devoted, let's say like obsessed a little bit, that he became very feminine. What does that mean? Okay, because devotion is a quality of the feminine energy, let's say. And the story says, okay, he was going and doing some kind of ritual in which every day he had to circle around Shiva and all these kind of things. And Parvati was there because she was his partner. And at some point, he came and tried to do his ritual, but Parvati was there, and he said, "Hey, move," or something. He told her to move, because feminine energy, let's say, or this part is not so logical. It's more emotional, and this is devotion. You are blind to something else. You just go into this. And Shiva was having fun with this. Parvati was fired up with this because she felt discriminated somehow. So then the legend says Bregu has transformed into a mouse first. And he was going only around Shiva. And Parvati was irritated by this. Shiva was having fun with this. Like, okay, what is he doing? Let's see what he is going to do next. And he takes Parvati and puts her in his lap. And then he cannot go only around him. He has to go around her too. But he keeps insisting. He just wants to be around the Lord, how he says. He doesn't want to be around Parvati. He doesn't see her as, let's say, yes, a deity. And then later on he transforms into a bird and tries to fly only around Shiva. And in the end, Shiva makes Parvati part of himself. He merges her with him. And in this way, they become, let's say, this one person which has half woman, half man in it.
Ardhanadishwarar.
Exactly, like you said before. And he wants to teach his disciple a lesson also, because he cannot allow him to only be lost in this devotion, blind devotion, only being the feminine aspect of himself. He wants to teach him a lesson that he has to value, or he has to gravitate around both energies somehow. And then he sits in a yoga pose, like he cannot avoid anymore Parvati or the other side. He has to go around the whole being.
Yeah.
And I like this story because it shows somehow that in our body we have already these two aspects, but not only in our body, also our emotions, all the other levels of our being, the mind, everything. And we don't have to dismiss a part of us. Let's say okay, this part I will not take because I don't know why, or I will dismiss my other part, because that means division in the end, right? So how do we remain in this unity by integrating the both energies? How does the practice that you do that?
There are various practices, like you practice yoga.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain breathing techniques we can do to culminate these energies together. There are tantric meditations that you can do that allows you to focus inward and get this balance and harmony brought in. Sound is a modality I use, and of course, it's very creative. And I use this handpan and flute. They're very creative energies.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring in that in, and then you've got this massive gongs, master, masculine.
Yeah.
Boom, gets in. Sound is also a tool that I use to help balance energy. Self-empowering tools is what I want to present in the workshop that we are planning to do. We'll talk about it in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You talked earlier about balancing of energies, the mind. I want to touch a little bit there on this. We have this conscious mind and unconscious mind, and all of us have ideas, intentions, and to be able to manifest anything in it. During waking hours, our conscious mind, which is fully awake, this is actually the masculine bit of our inner energy, who's awake, who's focused, who's out, trying to tackle everything that's coming in throughout the day. The subconscious is the fertile divine feminine within us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are falling asleep, something profound happens. The masculine, the conscious energy is invited into the bedroom of subconscious. As they go in. And there is a merging that happens, called honeymoon, called divine
Union.
Yeah, right word, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Union. Anything that the conscious male energy is taking in is imprinted into the subconscious. And she is divine. She doesn't object. Whatever you give, she receives.
Mm-hmm.
She receives. She takes in. She welcomes in. So the masculine turns back and goes in when you fall asleep. Which is why half an hour before you fall asleep, it's so important, I can't emphasize enough, your mindset that you carry with you before you go to sleep. Because we're taking all the aggression and negative and sense of being a failure in, she will receive it. She will imprint it.
Mm-hmm.
She will get impregnated with these feelings.
Interesting, yes.
The next day, because when you go in, she gets impregnated. She basically presents these seeds as a set of events for the next day. When
so
he
that
wakes
means
up,
a great responsibility somehow.
Exactly. She is profound. She's fertile. So it's important what you take in and what you sow in to her is what actually comes the next day as events for you. You know.
So then it will be a very interesting idea that for us before sleep, like you said, we focus on getting the right suggestion to our mind.
So
right?
important, very important to always feel successful, feel that you are in harmony, feel, physical circumstances could be totally against your notion, but sit down, listen to a piece of music, hone in, breathe, do this breath work we'll talk about in this. Breathe in, get your energies up, bring in that intentions. If you want to manifest something, bring in that as you've already gotten it. Stay in that half an hour before, and with that go down to sleep. Sleep hygiene is another thing I will talk about in the workshop. Go into this. So you sow this throughout the day. You are a seed collector.
Right.
Great. You go and impregnate her with this, and the next day, whatever you are, actually is going to come in as events for you. You will see that the client who hasn't called you is going to call you for sure, because you went in with saying that I've had a call. You believe, your belief comes in, it comes out.
I really like this topic because I have actually noticed this too. Like, we are very, very into this masculine energy, thinking that we are creating from this masculine energy, but actually creation happens in the feminine energy.
Exactly.
From the feminine energy. In the night, let's say, when you are open and fertile, like you said, and when you put the right seeds in that soil, let's say, and then everything blooms in the next time, right? So I think not many people know that actually. We haven't been taught all these kind of things in school and everything. So that's why we are doing this kind of work today. Me personally, I have started this for a few years and I'm going this direction because I have seen how this understanding and practice can help you to change your life, literally, meaning living from another level or having a different perception or and everything like this. So we are doing this work because we know what it means, right? And we want to share this with other people. We want to, hey, there is another way of doing things. There is another way of living. There are some information you don't know. And I really like this because giving this to the people, you actually make your role in changing this society that we are
Support
seeing.
the community, yes.
Exactly. Like we said before, okay, is this big context we are in? What can we do? in our little place where we are working, we can bring our individual contribution to make this world more meaningful, and not to forget that the essential values actually for the soul, let's say like that, are love, peace, joy. Because nowadays what we are doing, we are living in a pretty robotic way, let's say, in a survival mode, in a stressful mode, in a fight and flight response. So we need to go back, because something inside of us is shouting like, okay, something is missing, but we don't know what is missing. So that's what we are doing now in this retreat also. We are opening the space so we can see we already have what is missing inside of us, but we forgot how to tap into it, how to connect with it, how to bring in tune again with this part, right?
That is so true. Like I said before, work always happens inside. I want to see a change outside. So what's happening in the retreat? Want to talk about it?
Yes. Okay, so this retreat we are doing, I think it will be one in a series, let's say, in
first of many.
Yes, first of many, and we are inviting people, right? And I'm so happy we have met and we are doing this together. So we are happy to bring together experience and knowledge and practices and instruments in order to really have a practical outcome, let's say, out of it. Because theories, we know, we can read books, we can find information everywhere nowadays, but we need the practical part. We need to make the work. We need to do the work. We cannot just only read it and that's it. And then this kind of events and this kind of retreats are giving you the space, and you yourself, you're giving the space for yourself in which you can go inside and do that transformation.
Yeah, dedicated time for this.
Exactly. You dedicate yourself for this. So in this retreat we are doing in Lotriwara. It's a very beautiful place. You haven't been, but I have been yet. And it's in the mountains. It's a very beautiful place. It has the owner was telling me there is a very full of energetic place around there. So maybe we are going to go in that part and sense what it is there. And it has access to spa, jacuzzi. So it's a space in which we can relax and digest. And that's what I like to say, okay, because you are usually in the flight or fight response, and now you just slow down and go to this space of relaxing in which healing can happen, okay, or alchemy can happen, or balance can happen, let's say, okay. And in this retreat we are going to do yoga practices which go into the direction of alchemy of feminine and masculine energies. We are doing breath work, right?
Yes.
We are doing some extra explanation of what these two energies are about. Sound healing, of course, and some ceremonies. You can tell us about the ceremonies. The ceremonies are really beautiful. What is these ceremonies?
You see, part of the tantric tradition, we are doing specific breath work to help bring out these imbalances and then attain balances. So that will come out as a ritual also. I'm still discussing with a retreat space if we can organize a small fire ceremony. I'm yet to confirm that, but if that happens, yes, to bring in fire, Agni, as an aspect, into this. There are intimacy exercises, but I would like to label it not as exercises, as to exercises, activities you do to understand, sense the energy shift. work within yourself. Optional Reiki is also available on site if people want. It's all in all, we're trying to put together an all-encompassing wellness retreat. Yes, you could go, you could travel and go elsewhere outside the country for a wellness retreat, but hey, it's happening right in Cebu.
Exactly.
With people who have experiences hosting retreats in the past. So you come in, give us this 3 nights, 4 days, where you walk away with some tools and of course experiences of how to identify, balance your energies and make that beneficial for you.
Yes, so we are doing retreats. I have been doing retreats for a few years, so I have seen what effect have on people and how they can really open up and how can they really take this time for themselves, like you said. And I'm happy we are blending these two approaches now. Okay, so you're coming with your energy and I'm coming with my energy, and we are doing also an alchemy there in between our energies, let's say. And from this space we are sharing whatever we know and experienced ourselves and tested on ourselves and see what is working, so that your quality of life, I mean the participants' quality of life, change. So yes, it's happening here. It's happening in February, okay, between 23 and 26. This is the first time we are doing it, and then we have a waiting list for people who are going to sign up for further editions of this retreat. So we are mixing in this retreat, like I said, relaxing, opening, learning, working within yourself, and in the end you will live like a little, maybe another person somehow, but not in the scary sense. You will live as a more enriched human being, let's say.
Yes, experientially,
yes. Exactly, because we are learning by practice usually. Okay, so your mind has to understand, but then you have to have the experience so that you can integrate everything. So what we are doing now, and we have been doing for a few minutes, was talking to the mind of the people who are listening, right? But now what we are inviting people to do is to come with us and have the real experience of what we are talking about. Have the real experience of this alchemy. Have the real experience of what it means to find again your balance, which is there, but it's a little bit hidden, maybe. Okay, and yes, Ravi Subbiah, right?
Ravi Subbiah. Yes.
Sorry, I hope I didn't spell your name.
Fine, yes.
I spelled your name wrongly. Ravi and myself, we are waiting for you in Lotriwara in this retreat, which has the topic that we were talking about, meaning alchemy of the feminine and masculine energies. And the purpose of this retreat is to really find your inner balance again, to find that place inside of you which is fulfilling, peaceful, joyful, alive, and then go out into the world, share everything with other persons, with other people, and feel like, I don't know, complete again. So we are waiting for you. Ravi is going to invite you too. Maybe you can say a few words to the people.
Thank you. You did great. Thank you so much. You know, I'm new to Romania, 3 months in. I'm based in Timișoara now, per se. So I'm looking forward to meeting you at Cebu, at the retreat. We'll have so much of fun. I'll learn from you. We'll learn together collectively. It'll be an experience for all of us. So please get in touch and hope to see you.
And a few more words to finish this would be like this. Remember that there is no man which is complete man and no woman which is complete woman. We have half woman, half man inside of us, and we need to find this balanced relationship between our inner woman and inner man in order to find peace and then have meaningful relationships with the world, with ourselves, and with other persons in our life. Namaste.